What is the process to even, like, do you reach out to the Foreign Legion? Like,
No.
what is that process?
You don't. So the only way people that are familiar, it's a foreign fighter unit that's a military branch of France, right? It's a couple hundred years old for the expedited cliff notes of what it is. You show up and knock on the door like the Wizard of Oz. And a guy opens the door with a green beret and a gun, a guy on watch, and tells you to give them your passport and hop on the pull-up bar. This is pretty much exactly how it happened for me. I went in on a Sunday night, Hunter's full moon. Man, it was raining, and I was like, this is exactly, dude. Leading up to that, meaning at France when I touched down, I flew from Hawaii to France, so it's sunny, nice. I land, it's pouring rain and gray, and I went, what am I doing? And I'm running on fumes for money, so I get a hostel, and I'm like cleansing out my system because it's the military, they're gonna drug test you. I had weed in my system, and I'm going, all right, running, and I ran up to the Sacré-Cœur, which is the church on the Catholic church on top of the hill in Paris. And there was these nuns singing. And you could walk in, and it was just cloudy, and I walked up there, and I was hurting so bad, man. And I went in there and I sat. I still have pictures from when I was in there. I took pictures the day I was in there of just the church and everything. And I sat in there, man, and they were singing, and I just went, God, I don't know what I'm doing, man, but just look out for me. I'm going in tomorrow. Just help me out. And the next day I went in, and I took my train out there and knocked on the door and went into that selection process. And I didn't see that passport again for 3 years until I got my real name back, because you get a fake name and operate under a fake name. You do IQ tests and physical tests, Interpol background checks, psychological evaluations, kind of a Gestapo interrogation interview. And then that whole process is about a month before you go to boot camp.
Oh, wow. So I assume boot camp was the most difficult part of
Bro, dude, I hadn't run seriously in a long time, like seriously run. I mean, even in the SEAL teams, we'll run, and you got to stay mobile, but it's like sprints and stuff. You're not running like 12, 13, 14, 15 miles, which is what they're doing in the Foreign Legion. I started prepping when I knew I was going to go, so I had like a week. So I'm like running around the high school track, like gassing. I'm heavy. I still stayed active, and I was always working out. But dude, we were running half marathons in the morning on a piece of bread and coffee, and in the French countryside, beautiful. They send you to the farm, which is like the first kick in the nuts, and you're on a farm, like a real like out rustic farm. Everything's in French. Guys from all over the world. I mean, just in my class, we had Colombia, Thailand, South Africa, Chad, Cote d'Ivoire, bunch from Ukraine, bunch from Nepal, Romania, Hungary, Japan, full spectrum. We've got one American, me. And you had a guy from, I think maybe one guy from England and a couple other European and African countries. But that was pretty much the spread, man.
Sounds like a scene from The Expendables, that movie.
Bro, it's wild, dude. It's really, they take everyone from 17 and a half to 39 and a half. So that's the cutoff. You 17 and a half to 39 and a half, you come knock on that door, and they'll take you in. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you go knock on that door. It's 2 separate bases. They have some satellite recuperation facilities, but they don't really do pre-selection there. They'll kind of group guys up like on the border of Germany and on the border towns, and then they'll kind of take you to these 2 locations, Fort Nugent and Oban, which is the kind of the pre-selection centers, and then everybody goes through selection at the headquarters, which is in Oban, which is, they put us on a train from Paris, and I had a bunch of guys from Belarus, we're all fighting in Ukraine now, who I had gone with. I actually just got off the phone with a dude that I was in that boot camp thing there with yesterday. He's been fighting in Ukraine for 2 years.
I definitely want to speak more on that, Ukraine specifically, in a little bit. But what are some things that they'll disqualify people for?
Big teeth, feet, eyes, right? On the medical side. And on the criminal side, any serious arms trafficking, drug trafficking, kidnappings, sexual crimes. No go. right? And those are pretty much the big ones. You can squeak through it, most other shit for the most part. A lot of drug charges or something they're gonna have an issue with because it shows a pattern, or drug convictions. That'll be, are pretty much no go.